Guys, this is Caitlin again, and for my third oral presentation, I'm going to discuss environmental health and the impact that it has on the health of humans. I chose this topic because advocating for our environment has always been very near to my heart. I love nature and I love the outdoors, so seeing the degradation of our national parks and sacred outdoor destinations is disheartening to me. I believe that it is extremely important to raise awareness of our environment's current health condition, to help people understand how our planet has gotten to be the way it is, and to inform people of ways they can help. I would like to bring attention to the health risks for humans that stem from the health of our environment. The first point that I would like to bring attention to is the current air quality of our environment here in the United States. Despite dramatic progress cleaning the air since 1970, air pollution in the United States continues to harm people's health. One sign of the progress made since the Clean Air Act is that visible air pollution is less frequent and widespread than it was in the 1970s. However, air pollution is harmful even when it is not visible. Newer scientific studies have shown that some pollutants can harm public health and welfare even at very low levels. EPA in recent years revised standards for 5 of the 6 common pollutants subject to national air quality standards. EPA made the standards more protective because new, peer-reviewed scientific studies showed that existing standards were not adequate to protect public health and the environment. Today, pollution levels in many areas of the United States exceed national air quality standards for at least one of the 6 common pollutants. Although levels of particle pollution and ground-level ozone pollution are substantially lower than in the past, levels are unhealthy in numerous areas of the country. Both pollutants are the result of emissions from diverse sources and travel long distances and across state lines. An extensive body of scientific evidence shows that long and short-term exposures to fine particle pollution, also known as fine particulate matter, can cause premature death and harmful effects on the cardiovascular system, including increased hospital admissions and emergency department visits for heart attacks and strokes. Scientific evidence also links particulate matter to harmful respiratory effects, including asthma attacks. Ozone can increase the frequency of asthma attacks, cause shortness of breath, aggravate lung diseases, and cause permanent damage to lungs through long-term exposure. Elevated ozone levels are linked to increases in hospitalizations, emergency room visits, and premature death. Both pollutants cause environmental damage, and fine particles can impair visibility. Fine particles can be emitted directly or formed from gaseous emissions, including sulfur dioxide or nitrogen oxides. Ozone, ozone, a colorless gas, is created when emissions of nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds react. For unhealthy peak levels of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide, the EPA is working with states and others on ways to determine where and how often unhealthy peaks occur. Both pollutants cause multiple adverse respiratory effects, including increased asthma symptoms, and are associated with increased emergency department visits and hospital admissions for respiratory illness. Both pollutants cause environmental damage and are byproducts of fossil fuel combustion. Airborne lead pollution, a nationwide health concern before EPA phased out lead in motor vehicle gasoline under Clean Air Act authority, now meets national air quality standards except in areas near certain large lead-emitting industrial facilities. Lead is associated with neurological effects in children, such as behavioral problems, learning deficits and lowered IQ, and high blood pressure and heart disease in adults. The entire nation meets the carbon monoxide air quality standards, largely because of emission standards for new motor vehicles under the Clean Air Act. Vehicles and their fuels continue to be an important contributor to air pollution. In today's day and age, automobiles are the main mode of transportation, and getting rid of them would be insane as well as impossible. So, to improve their efficiency and decrease their emissions, hybrid vehicles were released and are now becoming more popular than ever. This is one topic that I'm really passionate about because I personally drive a hybrid car, and I never really understood the benefits of one until I owned one myself. So, since I've already introduced the idea, I'd like to go a little more in depth about hybrid vehicles and how they can benefit the well being of our environment. So, to begin with, the definition of a hybrid car is a fuel efficient vehicle having two motors, one gasoline powered motor and one electric motor. Conventional vehicles use gasoline or diesel to power an internal combustion engine. Hybrids also use an internal combustion engine and can be fueled just like normal cars, but have an electric motor and battery and can be partially or wholly powered by just electricity. By using both a conventional engine and electric motor, the best hybrids achieve significantly better fuel efficiency than their non-hybrid counterparts. They also pollute less and save drivers money through fuel savings. Indoor air pollution is also a major health concern in the United States. Radon is a cancer-causing radioactive gas. You cannot see, smell, or taste radon, but it may be a problem in your home. The Surgeon General has warned that radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States today. If you smoke and your home has high radon levels, you are at high risk for developing lung cancer. Some scientific studies of radon exposure indicate that children may be more sensitive to radon. This may be due to their higher respiration rate and their rapidly dividing cells, which may be more vulnerable to radiation damage. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, and the Surgeon General's office have estimated that as many as 20,000 lung cancer deaths are caused each year by radon. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. Radon-induced lung cancer costs the United States over $2 billion per year in both direct and indirect healthcare costs. The next main point that I would like to touch on is the current water quality of our environment here in the United States. For instance, a chemical spill that left 300,000 residents of Charleston, West Virginia without tap water is raising the ability of the United States to maintain its high quality of drinking water. While the U.S. has one of the safest water supplies in the world, experts say that Charleston contamination with a coal washing chemical shows how quickly the trust that most Americans place in their drinking water can be shattered. In Charleston on January 9th, about 10,000 gallons of a little-known and unregulated chemical called MCHM leaked from an above-ground storage tank into the Elk River. The amount of the chemical overwhelmed the carbon filtration system in the West Virginia American Water Treatment Plant about a mile downstream. Within a week, more than 400 people were treated for rashes, nausea, vomiting, and other symptoms. West Virginia American Water decided by January 13th that the water was again safe to drink because the concentration of MCHM had fallen below 1 part per million. But it soon emerged that there was little scientific information backing that safety threshold, and many West Virginians were still not convinced to drink tap water at the time. In another instance, while Congress was holding hearings on the West Virginia incident, the next one happened. On February 2nd, up to 82,000 tons of toxic coal ash spilled into the Dan River near the border of North Carolina and Virginia from a pond at a closed Duke Energy power plant. Coal ash contains arsenic, mercury, lead, thallium, and other dangerous contaminants. At power plants, it is mixed with water, forming a slurry that is stored in large ponds. According to the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, 40% of the country's coal ash ponds are located in the southeast and contain 118 billion gallons of toxic material. Most of these impoundments, like the one on the Dan River, are located near major waterways. These examples go to show that although we can't help natural disasters, we can help protect our waterways and natural water sources from the damages of toxins and other pollutants that are being dumped every day. It is important that we all come together to protect the future of our environment and to help try to reverse the damages that have already been done. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.